Alright everyone, we are in the outskirts of Ngong town and we'll be getting to the town center in a few, in fact in less than a minute, since I can see the town from where I sit. Specifically, we're in a place called Mbulbul, which is just a small settlement next to the town. But don't get it twisted, Mbulbul is not your average village, since it has a population of 19,303, where 9,648 are men, while 9,654 are women. In terms of the population density, there are 7,087 people living in a square kilometer here in Mbulbul. Such a fancy name. Anyway, let's not dwell there. Today I want to take you to a small town next to Ngong town, which goes by the name Matasia, which has been in existence for decades. But before we get there, we must go through Ngong town. And so stick around until the end and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent. Anyway, we are already in Ngong town, the city of traffic jam. It is always like this, whether during the day or at night. I don't know the cause of this heavy traffic jam. And traditionally, this is home to the beautiful Maasai people. But currently, of course, there are a lot of tribes calling this place home, specifically due to the fact that the town is not far away from the city of Nairobi. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later in the video. And Ngong town has a population of 102,323 people. And so you can see, as far as the numbers are concerned, this is not a small town. In fact, in some countries, this would qualify as a city. Anyway, one thing that you should note is that Ngong is one of the towns in Kenya that have shrinking population. That means that instead of population growing, the number is decreasing. I know that sounds kind of weird, because most people would expect the number is increasing. But according to the Kenyan Bureau of Statistics, the annual population change in Ngong town is negative 0.16. And to give you the right perspective, in 2009, the town's population was 103,927 people, which is roughly 104,000, while in 2019, the population was 102,000. That means the population decreased, although slightly. Although that was still against my expectations. I expected otherwise. But remember, numbers don't lie. People do. And so, in case you have the slightest clue of why the town's population has stagnated, you can tell us on the comment section below, and we will appreciate. Well, in terms of gender distribution, 50.7% are women, while 49.3% are men, while only 3 people identified as intersex. Anyway, that's Ngong for you. In fact, we have a dedicated video on this channel about the town. You can go check it up after watching this. And I can see our destination for today is around the corner. That is Matasia Township. But Murima people call it Matasia. You know, Kikuyu language has a way of simplifying anything. And for information, on my left is an education center by one legend, Wala bin Wala. He's a renowned Swahili author in the country, especially in the education center. He has published hundreds of books. In fact, he's the author behind a series called Kiswahili Mufti. And I'm not quite sure whether most of you old-timers can remember him. But if you're a lover of Swahili, That's the place to be since the center is open to the public. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Matasia town. It is not a big town as such, but you cannot call it small either, based on its location. Remember, we are in Kajiado County, Rift Valley, and this is one of the counties where you are likely to see some very small towns, especially if you go to the interior part. And so, despite Matasia being a small town, it is in top 6 in the entire county. I'll be giving you some numbers about the town in a few so that you can get the bigger picture. But let's first explore the town. So far so good. Although the sun is super hot, I know there's a dashboard reflection on the screen, but you have to bear with me. I was not expecting this. And funny enough, the town has developed along this road. Remember, this road comes all the way from Ngong to Kiserian. In fact, Kiserian is not far from here. It's some 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your speed. And the town is known for great nyama choma joints. In fact, the sweet aroma is all over. So in case you are a fan of nyama choma, this is the place to be. The town has a total population of 7,374 people, where 3,573 are males, while 3,801 are women. And in terms of the population density, there are 1,186 people living in a square kilometer. And although the town is quite small, it is sit on an area of about 6.2 kilometers squared. And so you can see that this is not a densely populated area. In fact, most old-timers will tell you that in the 80s and 90s, this area was characterized by a huge open field and low population. Remember, this is Kajiado County, traditionally home for the Maasai, and it is one of the counties that neighbors Nairobi County, the big city. And so the population has been growing, especially in recent years. In fact, the total population for Kajiado North, which is the constituency we are in, is 306,596 people. That is as of 2019, so probably the population has increased since. And remember, I told you that out of the 306,000 people living here, 102,000 lives in Ngong town. That's a third of the population in one town. And remember, the county has several other towns, such as Matasia, Kiserian, and a huge chunk of Ongata Rongai, while the average population density for Kajiado North is 2,772 people living in a square kilometer. The annual population change in the area is 4.7% per annum, meaning that the only place that the population is stagnant is in Ngong town. Anyway, let me leave it at that. Let's meet in our next town, which is Kiserian. It's not far from here. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent. Also like the video so that it can be recommended to as many people as possible, and smash the notification bell so that every time we post, you will be among the first few people to be notified. Thank you.